Hey everybody, what is up? It is Outstanding Oshawa2 here, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Gameplay and Chill, series where I talk about and share my opinions on stuff with some gameplay in the background. So today I'm talking about video game music, which is in my opinion the second most important thing in game design, right behind gameplay. Now, some people are probably like, whoa, you're telling me music is more important than graphics, it's more important than a good story, and I'd argue it is. I sincerely believe that music is that important when it comes to video games. So, I'm going to be talking about a few examples and why I think video game music has such an impact on the gaming experience overall. So, first thing I want to talk about is music setting a mood. Whether this mood is for happiness, anger, sadness, anything. If it sets a mood for the area that you're in, or just like sets a mood for how you should be feeling, it just impacts. For instance, you could have a really stupid story, but as long as the music is powerful during a cutscene, it just adds to the impact. If you watch a horror movie with like freaking Beethoven, it's stupid. It is plain out stupid. But you watch a horror movie with this scary music when someone's about to stab someone, yeah, it's somewhat scary. Now, I'm not a fan of horror movies, so I don't really know too much about them, but if you do take away the audio, horror movies are not scary. Now, an example that I really think sets the mood well is in a game that I recently finished, and that is Xenoblade Chronicles, or Xenoblade Chronicles, however you want to say it. And that is the Engage the Enemy song. Now, I'm not going to spoil anything about the plot, but this song is very powerful, and you will hear it on multiple times throughout the story, and every time that you do, there will just be something that is just left in you after you hear it, that's something that like feels taken away from you, my bad, after you hear it, and it just has such an impact, and you're just like, damn! Now, I believe Xenoblade has a great story, but the music really does add to the impact of some of these cutscenes. So anyway, that's music setting mood. Now, I kind of talked about this a bit briefly, but music establishing setting. Now, this could be like to give you a feeling of the area. Two things that I really think stick out are one song from the immensely popular Undertale. I love the game. I think it's spectacular. Do I think it's the best game of all time? Hell no. Do I think it deserves the praise that it does? Yes. But anyway, one of my favorite songs from the game is Waterfall. Waterfall is a absolutely outstanding theme. Here's a quick little listen. Yeah, this song is honestly spectacular. It just has the impact. It shows this freaking beautiful waterfall at the beginning of the level, and it just hits with this amazing violin on multiple occasions, and it's the main reason I remember the area, because honestly, at least in my run, the way that I played through Undertale, not much happened there, besides a boss battle, but other than that, really, not much happened, and, it just kind of felt bland, but the music just made me remember this part of the game, and made me even search it up on YouTube to listen to it again, and made me think about the game and smile. That is amazing. And another great example of this is Pallet Town. If you played Pokemon Gen 1, which Gen 1 was my first Pokemon game, Fire Red, Leaf Green, first game of all time. That was my first video game I ever played. So I am very nostalgic towards Gen 1. Do I admit Gen 1 is the most overrated generation of all time? Yes. I think Gen 5 is the best, to be honest, but I have so much nostalgia towards Gen 1, and especially the Pallet Town theme. Like, if I just played that, like, for an hour, or for, like, a couple minutes, I might cry, because it has that much of an impact on me. I love the Pallet Town theme. I can listen to it all day. Simple, and effective. That is what the Pallet Town song is. And it gives you this feeling of home, and it's really fitting for the area as it is your hometown. And it's just very accepting, the song. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's cozy, I guess you could say. There's not really a good word. Sorry if I'm not using the best adjectives here. Now, another thing I love about video game music now is that it can set up drama. Like I kind of stated that earlier as well, but two amazing examples are One Winged Angel from Final Fantasy VII. Here's a quick listen. While a bit cheesy, I must admit, it does set up this theme of just, oh my god, how the hell am I gonna beat Sephiroth? Spoilers for Final Fantasy VII. I mean, come on. If you've been on the internet, you know he's a final boss. But anyway, it sets up this feeling of just, God, I really gotta kill this guy, on top that he did that other thing, which I don't want to also spoil, even though it's throughout the internet. But anyway, you want to kill Sephiroth. Case in point. And something else, another song that, again, from Xenoblade, that's really good, is the final boss theme. I'm not gonna say its name because that's a really big spoiler, just the name, so I'm going to choose not to. But if you played through Xenoblade, you know what I'm talking about. I might have it in the background. I don't know, because that could even be a spoiler, in a sense. But I'm going to choose to preserve the story of Xenoblade for you guys. But if you have played through Xenoblade, you know what I'm talking about. Now, the final thing I want to talk about is that it sets up nostalgia. Now, if you played a game when you were young, like I was talking about, Pallet Town, from Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green. God, I love it, I love it, I love it. And whenever I hear that song, I think of happiness. I think of the game. I think of all the great times I've had playing through Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green. It's a reason it might be my favorite game of all time, even though it is extremely flawed. In every sense, that game means so much to me. I am nostalgia blind to that game. I know it's not the best game ever made. Hell, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. But that song just makes it. Just the setting and just hearing that song makes me think of all the great times I've had playing it. And another example, if you maybe grew up playing Mario, the simple Mario theme, or maybe even the Legend of Zelda theme on the NES, the Overworld. If you grew up playing that, those songs are going to provoke something in you, and it's an amazing feeling. Now, if I could pick a soundtrack that really sums up my love for video game music, it is probably the Professor Layton soundtracks. Now, you guys know I love Professor Layton if you watch my channel. I think it is probably my favorite video game franchise. I think it's that solid, and there really hasn't been a bad entry in the franchise. There's no bad spin-offs, maybe besides Layton Brothers on phone, which I admit I have not played through, so I'm going to choose not to judge it. But anyway, the Professor Layton soundtrack is spectacular. It has this, like, Italian jazz, like a freaking accordion theme with piano, violin, all these instruments that just set up these beautiful, beautiful arrangements of music. Some of my favorite songs are Town of Water, from Professor Layton and the Last Spectre, and just the main theme. And they just all set up these moods. So setting up a mood, if it makes me want to feel a certain way, there's a great Professor Layton song for that. I don't really know the names. Music establishing setting, again, Town of Water. I forget what the overworld themes are called. I don't know what they're called, but every overworld theme fits the town or the area that you're in. Music sets up dramaticness. The puzzle battle in Professor Layton and the Unwound Future, or whatever it's called. Actually, no, that's the is that the UK? I forget. There's a UK version. One's Unwound Future and one's something else. I'm gonna have to Google it now. Layton and the Unwound Future. It's something else in the US. No, it is Unwound Future. Huh. And what's the European version? Lost Future. Okay, that's the European version. No. Okay. I blanked on one of my favorite video games of all time. Whatever. But the puzzle battle theme in that is really great, and it sets up the mood and sets up nostalgia. Again, Town of Water is just a freaking beautiful piece. God, listen to the Professor Layton soundtrack. And every main theme for the Professor Layton games are spectacular. They are some of the most well-arranged pieces of music I have ever heard. They're that good. But anyway, enough me gushing about Professor Layton. What I want to know is, what are some soundtracks that have stuck with you? What are some soundtracks that have just made you, just beyond happy? What are some soundtracks that you think about on a daily basis? Because I can assure you, I think about these tracks, like, every day. I love them that much. They are so well made. And I'm curious, because I love a good video game soundtrack as much as anyone else, if that was not apparent. But please tell me, do you think video game soundtracks have a huge impact on game design? Do you think that they are more important than things like graphics and story? I'd be very interested to hear, because it's an interesting topic. Anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys later. Peace!